$621 extra each and every month for Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, and VA beneficiaries. Some new details were just released. I have all the information right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, I do want to discuss with you some new details and a new announcement showing the average fixed income beneficiary should be receiving an extra $621 more every single month above and beyond your current benefit. These are some very surprising and shocking numbers. Let's get into it and discuss all the details and the full explanation for why this is happening and why aren't you getting this extra $621 that they are now suggesting. Let's get right into it. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and because I am your one and only daily advocate, I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, as that's my commitment, that's my dedication, and that's my promise to you and everybody right here in the community to continuously watch all of this new information hitting the wire, doing the necessary research, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can see how it's going to impact you, your money, your benefits, your lifestyle, your bank account, and of course anything showing up right now you can possibly grab and or take advantage of. It's a very busy, confusing, and uncertain time that we're currently living through, which is exactly why I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and I'll be here for you every single day, no matter what. That's my promise, and I'm sticking to it. All right, thanks again. Let's get into it and talk about this surprising information in regards to over $600 more is what they're suggesting every single month for fixed income beneficiaries. And where's the money, right? I think all of us are wondering, show me the money. Where is it? We could certainly use an extra $621 more per month right now. I totally agree. And then again, I want to show with you all the details of this report and where that money is and why it didn't actually happen. And it all comes down to basically inaction out of Congress. Thanks again, Congress. We really enjoy what you're doing out there. Not, right? I think all of us probably agree. Congress, they're good for some things, but for the most part, man, it seems like they drop the ball constantly on a lot of different things. However, here's what it comes down to. There's a bunch of different moving parts here, but let me bring all of this full circle here in just a second. Basically, it comes down to inflation, number one. Number two is the annual cost of living adjustment to your monthly benefits. And number three is time. Okay, let me wrap all this together here and show you the details of this report and where this $621 is coming from. All right, so obviously, as we know right here in 2023, over roughly the last 2 years or so, we've been dealing with very high inflation, right? Inflation has been through the roof. It peaked out last summer at about 9.1% in June, and then again, it was going down for several months, and now it's going back up, right? Inflation has gone back up, and it's still very, very elevated at this time, which ultimately, as we know, because we've seen it in so many reports, and we're all living it right now, that this is really impacting the low income and fixed income beneficiaries in a huge, huge way. Now, another thing I want to point out as well, this year, fixed income beneficiaries, about 70 million people receiving fixed income benefits, received an 8.7% cost of living adjustment to benefits, which was the highest increase that we've seen since 1981. So what is that? Over 40 years ago was the last time that we saw an increase of this high. However, is that what it's supposed to be? Well, there's been a lot of talk out there that this increase should have been more like doubled, over 17%, and last year it should have been increased to more like 8%, around that range. Meanwhile, last year in 2022, it was 5.9%. All right, now let's wrap all this together and put some time around this as well and what this report is actually showing. So here's what it comes down to. The report goes back all the way to the year 2000. Y2K. Remember that one? Oh, what a fun time. Remember that? That was kind of silly. But anyway, it was kind of a fun time to live through. But back in the day, right? 1999, we were looking at it thinking, oh my, right? Y2K is coming up, the year 2000. Well, that is what this report goes back to. So basically the last 22 and a half years or so, basically they wrapped it up through the end of 2022. So basically 22 years of time. And also taking into consideration the 8.7% COLA that we all got this year in 2023. So that is also calculated into this. And what it really should have been, significantly higher than that, right? We all agree. But here's what it comes down to. Based on the annual cost of living adjustment for monthly benefits, it's calculated off of the CPIW, Consumer Price Index for Urban Wage Earners and Clerical Workers. That's what that stands for, CPIW, okay? However, for many years now, Congress has wanted to change it, and there's been numerous different proposals, numerous different lawmakers coming out wanting to change it to the CPIE, Consumer Price Index for the Elderly. That's what that stands for, okay? Now, this one would better reflect the actual living expenses and the actual expenditures for a fixed income beneficiary, okay? So that is why they'd want to change it, because they say, but wait, the CPIW does not accurately reflect all of the expenses for somebody who is possibly retired or a disabled person, maybe living on a fixed income benefit. So they're saying, why don't we adjust it to the CPIE, which better reflects the actual expenses of a fixed income beneficiary, and it has more weight toward other things like healthcare expenses and things like that, because that is generally what fixed income beneficiaries, and again, it's not all about healthcare, but it has different weightings within the CPIE versus the CPIW, where it is currently calculated. So as a result of this, now let's rewind all the way back 22 and a half years or so, back to the year 2000. Here's what it comes out to. If they would have implemented the CPIE, Consumer Price Index for the Elderly, way back in 2000, the year 2000, versus the CPIW, over long periods of time, as in the last 22 years, again, through the end of 2022, taking into consideration the 8.7% COLA for this year as well. If they would have actually adjusted it for the CPIE versus the CPIW over long periods of time, there were little incremental changes, as in, let's just say, for example, back in 2000, maybe the CPIW was, for example, 0.5%, okay? So half of 1%. Meanwhile, the CPIE was maybe 0.7%, 7/10 of 1%, right? So 2/10 of 1% higher. Now, on a annualized basis for 1 year alone, we might think, that's not that much, right? It doesn't really matter. That's only 2/10 of 1%. That's not going to add up to much money over the course of just 1 year. You're right. Over 1 year, it's not going to make that much of a difference. However, compound that year over year over year over year, every single year for 22 years. Guess what happens? That results in $621 over the course of that period of time on a monthly basis, not annualized, every single month. So that little 2/10 of 1% in that example that I just gave you a couple seconds ago, in one given year, you're right, it does not add up to much money in one single year, but compounded over long periods of time. And we also know that the CPIE generally deviates from the CPIW a little bit, a couple tenths of a percent, maybe half of a percent in some years, maybe even a full percentage point or more in some very high inflationary times like last year in 2022. Guess what? Compounded over very long periods of time, in this case, 22 years, it comes out to $621 more every single month. Not year, every single month. Now we're talking about some serious, serious money here. And it was all because of one little change that they could have implemented 22 years ago, back in 2000, as lawmakers have been talking about this for a very long time now. If they just would have changed this is what it would come out to, right? So the average benefit right now, let me tell you the details about this, okay? And I'm going to round some numbers here just because I did not run the calculations before I started recording this video, so I'm going to add this up in my head as I go, so I might be off by a few dollars, but I'm going to do my best right here on the fly to add this up in my head as I talk. All right, so right now, the average Social Security retirement beneficiary is getting $1,801 per month. However, if they would have made this one simple change back 22 years ago, adjusting for all of the little incremental changes, 0.2% here, 0.5% here, 0.1% here, compounded, and again, it's just like money in a savings account, right? If you have $10 today and it's compounded interest, this month, and you get, say, $1 of interest this month, now you're getting compounded interest on $11 next month, and $12 the next month, and $13 the next month. You know what I mean? So it's compounding over time. And it's the same thing with the CPIW versus the CPIE over long, long periods of time. In this case, 22 years. It's a long period of time that we've missed out on. Anyway, Let me go back to that example now. So right now, the average Social Security retiree is getting $1,801 per month. That's what the average is right now for Social Security retirees. However, if this extra $621 would have been added to that, the average Social Security retiree today would be getting, again, adding this in my head right now, $2,422 a month. Would that change your life a little bit? Yeah, that changed your life in a huge way, right? And remember, this is on average. The $621 is on average, okay? Now, here's the thing. Maybe some people would be getting $400 more a month. Maybe some people would be getting $800 a month. Maybe some people would be getting $200 a month. It's all averages, but the deal is benefits would be significantly higher for millions upon millions of people. Well, virtually everybody. Literally everybody would be getting significantly higher benefits just because of this one simple change. Now get this, the average SSDI beneficiary right now is getting $1,476. Let's just apply the average, that $621 again on average to that. That would be, what is that? $2,097, I think, if I'm doing that right. $2,097 a month for an SSDI beneficiary. Again, would that change your life a little bit? I think so. That'd be pretty substantial. Now let's apply this to SSI for just a second. Now obviously, again, this is the average. So the smaller the benefit amount, again, the smaller that the actual monthly increase would have been. But let's just apply this just for all practical purposes right now and just look at the real numbers here. In the event that SSI was getting an extra $621 per month, again, on average, if this were the case, the maximum benefit right now for SSI is $914 a month. However, if this $621 was applied to that, that would be, what is that? $1,535. I think I'm adding that correctly. $1,535 a month. Again, would that help out? Yeah, that would help out a lot. It'd help out a huge, huge amount for a lot of people. So, obviously, Congress dropped the ball, and they continue to drop the ball. Now, here's the thing. Over the last, 3, 4, 5 years that we've been talking about this stuff consistently here on the channel every single day, they have come up with multiple proposals out of Congress to implement the CPIE versus the CPIW. Have they done it yet? No. So we've lost another, say, 3, 4, 5 years that they continue to talk about this and they haven't done it yet. This would be so easy. It would be so incredibly easy for them to do this. And the longer they wait, the more that we miss out on this. And here's the thing. Last year, 2022, and this year, 2023, we've really missed out on a lot because here's the thing. Just that small little change, the 5.9% cost of living adjustment we got last year and the 8.7% COLA that we got this year could have been even higher than that as well. So we missed out on 2 really, really good years. Now, going forward in 2024, we don't know what it's going to be quite yet. It's still too early to know. But if this inflation continues to persist like this, it's likely going to be a pretty substantial COLA again. Is it going to be 8.7%? No, highly doubt it. Is it going to be 5.9%? Probably not, but it might still be pretty substantial. It may be 3, 4, 5%, possibly, depending on what this inflation does here over the next couple months. So either way, this is the detail about it right now, and this is the announcement and the report. So yet again, Congress letting us down a little bit. So this is kind of discouraging, but at the end of the day, this is the information, and this is what I want to bring to your attention so we can all see clearly the information that's out there right now. And not only that, how Congress could have made one simple change 22 years ago that would have impacted the benefits for millions of beneficiaries in a huge, huge, huge way that would have changed the lives of millions of people. I mean, right now, we could be talking about like majorly higher benefits in a huge way, right? Just because of this one simple thing. That's it. So what we had on our side with that was time and little incremental changes and compounding. That's what it comes down to. Craziness, right? Yeah, I agree, right? Anyway, anytime I come across these reports, I like to bring these to you so you can clearly see what's going on out there. And we could probably say the neglect out of Congress, right? I'm not really sure what else to say, but this is really what it comes down to. And this is the information that's being released. So anyway, hope this one helps you out to better understand what's going on here. Of course, I will continue watching everything very closely. Social Security is a hot button issue right now in Congress. They're talking about it. Lawmakers are talking about it. They're working up bills, packages, and proposals. The administration is talking about it. There's a lot going on right now to these benefits. Hopefully they'll come up with a good plan. Either way, I'll keep you posted. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day, take care, and I'll catch you again later in the next video. I'll see you.